Welcome to Biggest Geekus. We are your hosts. I'm Randy.
And I'm Joe.
This is episode 108 of our show. Episode 2. And the date is Tuesday, October 4th.
You're sounding like Brandon over there.
I'm being very Brandonite. What
Yeah.
is up, Joe Sup?
Not much. We have a question already about White Plume Mountain. Is it any good from Gerald Davis? That might be not Gerald Davis Sr.
I think it's Junior. He's a youngin'. He don't know much about the old school. We're going to
White
learn
Plumes.
some more. He's going to learn some more about the
We're going
brilliant.
to learn him.
We're going to learn it to him. So, yeah, man. So, what you been up to?
So you were out of town. We couldn't play.
Right. We're playing this week, though. It's coming Thursday. Yeah, I was gone to a conference.
That doesn't make up for anything.
It makes up. It's allowable. Though I wish I never went. Nah, I can't say I wish I never went. It was kind of weak sauce.
Did you have to dodge a lot of poop on the ground?
It actually wasn't too bad. I was in Los Angeles, and I went down to Hollywood, and where else did I go? That was it. But it was a conference. It was very woke, but that's all right. I just basically said, rolled my eyes. Had a few good sessions. There was a few really, really stupid sessions. So, and by a few, I mean about every other one. So, what's up, Malachi? Yeah, I'm back, baby.
Shut up.
Joe, come on. Respect. Joe don't want me to have any love. Dang.
No.
But
No,
yeah,
I'm joking.
Yeah, I know.
Keep your shorts on.
Nope, I'm taking them off right now.
No, this is family friendly.
Duncan in the house. We got the crew, man, a bunch of them. Gerald Davis, Patrick, Darth, Green Apple, Malachi, Duncan Bradley. Who else is here? I saw some others. Darth already said. Did Aaron Wilkerson? Yeah. Martinson, Cigar DM. Good
Hey,
crew.
phone guy.
Phone guy just rolled in. What's up, Arn
Yeah.
Man? Hey, dude. Yeah, so we got some news on the convention site, of things, and a few other stuff. Matt Barniger.
Hey, Matt.
Hey, Ruby. That's cool. DJ Craze.
DJ Craze. We got DVR in the house.
Yes,
Well,
indeed.
DVR Army.
Is it Matt Barninger or Barninger? I wonder. Probably
That's a good
Barninger.
question.
Yeah, Matt. I'm not sure, bud. Just
Probably either or.
I'll try. Whatever it is, I'm sure I'm saying it wrong. So,
Yeah.
welcome, Matt.
You never know. It could be like Dutch or something. It could be weird,
that's
very
cool.
weird pronunciation.
Weird or brilliant, depending on your perspective. So yeah, I just basically got back from a long flight from LA, and I am at Randy. Oh, look at Darth. He's going to bring some of the stuff here. This should start some heat. That's like me as a school night custodian. I still have to go to the meetings about sharing the kids' information. Like I should. Yeah, no kidding. Oh, second pronunciation. Thanks, Matt. Barninger.
Which one was second? I can't remember now.
I think I said Barninger. Barninger was second. Or was it
Yeah.
Barninger?
Hey, it's German. We were just talking about Inglorious Bastards. That's about
Yeah.
Germans.
That was a pretty cool movie.
Not in a good light, but it's about some Germans.
Yeah, but
Babies, yes, DVR. Just as an aside, DVR, who sent a few folks here to support us, had a new baby, as phone guy said. They just had a new little girl.
and it wore him out.
Well,
Yeah.
apparently, it doesn't want to sleep at night. Who ever heard of that? Babies not wanting to sleep at night.
That. There we go. Good luck to him. I hope it all works
Yes.
out. I'm sure it will. Congratulations.
Congrats to DVR.
Yeah, I'd never seen Inglorious Bastards, and it was pretty cool. Very different. Very Quentin Tarantino, which sometimes that wears me out at times, but I did like it.
Yeah, I like the movie pretty much, but I'm not a Tarantino fan. Some of the things he does is irritating.
Well, it's just sometimes a little too extreme, but it was it was pretty cool. I watched that. I watched High Noon with Gary Cooper. This is all.
Oh, okay.
The plane we had movies, so that was cool. But yeah, High Noon was awesome. You know what I've noticed? There's some of the best westerns were odd. High Noon's kind of odd. I mean, there's not really a lot of they don't go into great explanation of things. Dude don't like Gary Cooper's character. He's getting some dudes are gonna put him down, and you got to stop him. That's all there is to it. Yeah.
Yes, Matt. A lot of revisionism in his flicks. Probably he's a lefty, so that's what they like to do. Revisionism is good if it reveals truth, which sometimes it does. But revisionism that paints a picture from a particular point of view in a inaccurate way, we don't like that.
So did you do anything fun this weekend? I know you thanks for running the show, Joe. You did a good job. I did get to catch most of it. Thanks.
Yeah, it was great. We didn't need you.
Obviously, you got Bruce. I was easily replaced. So, I missed the game. Martinson, we missed you last week in the game. We needed our main healer. All right, cool. Yeah, sorry, man. Hopefully next week I'll make it. Malachi. Enjoyed the Hateful Eight. I actually did too, but I like Kurt Russell a lot. So he used
Kurt Russell was one of the only good things about that movie. It was really over the top.
It's just, man,
but hard. Kurt Russell showed, I think he pretty well. It's hard to compare him and Samuel L. But they were they were like the best actors. Though I still think Samuel L. pretty much doesn't do range that much.
Not really. He can step into roles and stuff, but he's kind of Samuel L. being Samuel L. But
most of the time,
I generally like him, but he's just way
he's a lunatic.
He's kind of he's
a lunatic.
Pretty close to being a racist too, in my opinion. Pretty close.
Oh yeah.
So not a big fan.
Oh well.
But he's a good actor. Just shut up and act.
Yeah, just about every movie he's been in, I've enjoyed.
Yeah. What did you do this week, Joe? Anything cool? Any fun stuff?
I've been typing on the keyboard a lot more than I had recently, and obviously, to anyone who is paying attention, we didn't get print on demand out like I was hoping at the end of the last month, but I haven't done this stuff in a long time. You think you've got it done, and you're like, oh, I didn't think of this and that and the other thing, and we got to go back to the drawing board. So, yay.
Well, shall we jump into, we're going to kind of continue with the White Plume. Joe did the old school review, and you kind of hit the highlights. Tonight, I kind of want to spoil the living crap out of it. Because there's
the old one?
It'll be both, really, because I think the new one, it'll be fun. If you have the old one handy, you might be able to. I feel like I don't have the old one, but my gut says they're still very close.
I have the old one right here, along with.
Oh, yeah, we'll talk about Isom. Yeah, Joe and I both got our sweet Isom.
I wanted to do an unboxing, but I was so busy with the website, and
right.
I don't have a down-facing camera set up to, really do the pages justice. So.
Oh, they're asking for Mr. Max about, is it Big Geek Emporium news? Do you want to do the news first? You want to be kind of crazy and start from the bottom?
Okay. Bottoms up, as they say.
So Big Geek Emporium, besides not quite getting the POD done. Oh, Gerald. Excitement is not the word I would use.
I wish I had a laugh track I could press a button to run. But yeah.
No, man. Sorry, Gerald. This is not the place for excitement for 1D&D.
Or the wah, 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 wah.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be good for you, bud, but I wouldn't hold my breath, man. That sounded a lot like, let's not go down that road. That's cool, Jared. I hope you're excited. I am not excited. I think it's going to be utter garbage.
Right.
But anything else from Big Geek Emporium besides...
we didn't make the POD cutoff, but that doesn't mean it's not happening. It's just delayed. Dinner's late, as they say. It's just going to be a little later. I have been in closer talks with the devs, and they are getting the new design in shape. I do not have an ETA. I don't think. I think it's a little too early for that. We don't even have all of the pages for the new design made. So,
Cigar DM says you do it, Randy, and he follows that appropriately with LOL, because then it would be never going to happen. So,
what 5e or 6e?
No, I think he's talking about getting the POD on ongoing and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, that's not going to happen.
No. When I say I'm not totally back to the drawing board, just some rethinking to make sure that I'm not overlooking things like I had been.
Right. Anything else? I got a couple of comments on Big Geek Adventures and Big Geek Con.
I'm going to try to get out some October themed stuff for Big Geek Emporium, at least maybe the theme, and I will be running a promotion of some kind for October.
Cool. As far as my adventure that's on the way, David Guile has given me some great suggestions that I need to implement and get serious about. I agree with Darth. It is 1D&D. It looks like crap. Though I think Malachi is saying, if you look at Malachi right above, he says systems-wise, it's not looking terrible. Yeah, it looks mostly like 5e, stripped down even further.
Not terrible is not a recommendation.
That's what I say about my gluten-free bread. Joe's, what that's like? Oh, it's not horrific. But David Giles gave me a lot of pointers. He actually helped confirm something I had left out on purpose because I caught myself typing off in super description land. And he said, yeah, you probably should. And I cut that out. And he goes, no, you probably want that. It'll give a DM perspective. I think he's right. Patrick Demo, as he mentioned in the stream, he is hot on working on the art. And so I just got to clean up my next revision of the adventure, send it off to David Guile and some other people I want looking at it, and give me some. What
about layout?
Layout. I think Dave's going to help me with that. He said he'd give me a hand with that. And
what are you going to use? Are you going to get some software for that? Or are you just going to use Word?
I think I'm going to do Word initially, but I feel like I need to get some software. I need to learn how to do some editing, especially since I'm hoping if it goes reasonably well, then I will probably try to make a sequel.
Who's Connie Chang? Elle says you people are going to make Connie Chang at D and Daddy Issues cry about 1D&D. I don't know who Connie Chang is.
She must love it. She must be a huge fan.
Must be. Is she the lady in the commercial for it?
She must have been. There's no one.
She looked Asian and said, "Oh, nobody Asian." Essentially said, "There's no Asian people in D&D until 1D&D."
Oh, there's never been ever.
Never been whole books dedicated to it.
Malachi says, "Don't even look that person up. Do yourself a favor." Okay.
Yes, I agree.
Now, Big Geek Con was looking down last week. I checked one of the locations. The prices were just too high. It was the one place that I liked here near Saginaw. I just think it's too much, not knowing how we can do pre-gens very effectively yet. I need to check the hotel.
You mean pre-registration?
Sorry, pre-registration of the event.
Yeah.
Even so, it's pretty pricey. I talked to my college, and they seem very amenable to hosting, and it's plenty big enough, and we'd actually have breakout rooms, which I like. So I think there'd be an opportunity for us to have, I got to talk to the head honcho, not the president, but who's ever in charge of the space and facilities. But I think it could be a good, I'm selling it as a good outreach. I think it could be a community outreach. We can invite people and they would help advertise it. At least that's what I've been thinking about. So, yeah, that's where I'm at with Big Geek Con. But I'm more excited than I was when I left for my conference. So that's pretty cool.
What I remember of Delta is because I never took a class there, but I've walked through the grounds now and again with my wife when she was taking classes, and a couple times with you. I remember there's a cafeteria area that's kind of central in a way.
It's not the best food, but they do have enough variety where you get something different both days.
It'd be good just for a hangout spot.
Exactly. And then there would be spaces like we could do the gym if we wanted to have, if they want to give us the gym. I know we've had events where we could probably put up some sound barriers so we can have some separate rooms, or they might let me use the rooms. I mean, especially on the first floor, there's tons of rooms. So I'm really hoping that'll be the case. Arnman has an idea. Granted, it's a bad idea. Let's just do Big Geek Con outdoors. Bring paperweights. Oh, yes. Yes, I do, Martinson. He's doing a little lead work for me. I do want you to check it out. It's nothing set in stone. I'm just feeling like where I teach could be a good option. I held a really tiny convention there back in when I first moved here, and it went pretty well, but I think this could be a bigger thing. I'm going to try to make it a bigger thing, so I'm excited. We'll see how it goes. I'll have more to report hopefully next week.
All right.
Well,
sounds good.
Let's talk about our contest, if that's okay, the last bit. So I'm going to give I want to steal my buddy Martinson's idea called the Riddle of the Sphinx. Next week, this is a fishbowl, and it's about 8 inches tall and about 8 inches in diameter. And you're going to guess the number of dice. There's one massive die in the top. The others are a variety of sizes. You're going to try to guess how many dice are in here. The person who gets closest without going over is going to win, as always. One of 3 options. Thought I would go with Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 2nd edition as one of the options. And this is the one that I was given by my buddy Patrick, but I have no use for it. This is the Star Wars Edge of the Empire role-playing game, the beta test. So it might be an interesting collector thing or something you might want to play. And then I totally pulled this one. I don't know where I got this from. Well, I did, my shelf.
Hold on.
Yeah.
We will not hold anybody's current guesses against them because today is the announcement of the contest. Next week, we will hold the contest. That way, we might be able to grab a few extra people to come in here and make their guesses. So next week, we will do this.
Yeah, sorry, Duncan. Hold on to that number. Malachi says he wants the big D20. No, but thanks for playing. Old school. This is an old game. It's in a Ziploc. It came this way. It's got a rule book. It's got a set of cards. They say it's the Warrior, Ranger, Trickster, Mage skill cards. It uses a 2d6, 2 10-sided dice, and poker chips all together. This was made in about 2014. I think it's a 2nd or deluxe edition. It says Wegs Old School Deluxe Bag, and it's got the game and all that other stuff in it. It's pretty interesting. I've never, ever played it, but I thought, you know what? If I've never played it now, I'm never going to play it. So it's 8 years ago that I got this. Yeah. Man, they're still guessing. Don't give the guesses away. Other people might steal your guess next week.
One dice short of a bowl.
Right. So anyway, if you win next week, we are only going to allow the people on the stream, right, Joe?
Yep.
Correct. To guess.
Yep.
So it won't be an email this time. Those that come to the stream next week on the 11th, probably somewhere in the middle of the podcast YouTube show, we'll have you guys guess. I'll write them down because Joe will be running the main topic that time, and we'll see who's closest without going over. So hang on to your guesses. All right. Man of War, Neighbor of the Beast, says, I want everything except the big D. Fair enough. Oh, Aaron says, how much does the bowl weigh? Uh-oh, we got some physics going on here. I did not weigh it, but it's fairly light. So, with the stuff in it. But there are plenty of dice now. Not, like I said.
You might want to put it fully on the camera.
No, come on. Vision is overrated. I think I'll do better. Let me do a little computer magic. There we go. So, that's
what did you just think you did?
Just expanded the screen.
It didn't do anything.
That's my skill, dude. See what I'm talking about? It did for me.
Here.
Look at me do nothing. There you go. How do I do that? Can I do that?
No.
Ooh, cool. Now I'm the star. So there's the dice. There's all kinds in there.
Nope,
So
I didn't do it.
make a very strong, guess. Look at that. Beautiful dice of all sorts. There is only one monstrous D20. The rest are quote unquote normal. There's even, look at that. There's even is that a spell? What's that again? What's that right here, dude? What is that guy? Is that dragon dice? I forgot where I got that from.
I can't tell.
Anyway, so that's the bunch. And guess closest without going over. And you're going to get to pick one of those prizes. And I'll ship it to you. So, yeah. Sorry, Aaron. I don't know what the weight is. But I would say it's not too heavy. Oh, Patrick. He is not wrong. Booming it. I'm definitely pulling some boomerness.
I think I like this look better.
That's computer magic. I think that's all I got as far as newsy stuff. Oh no, you wanted to announce another one, didn't you? The second contest? Did you want me to announce that one?
Oh yes. As
the second contest, we're only going to do one prize because I think it's extra juicy. When we get 500 subscribers, Randy is giving away a second edition box set of Paranoia. Now, it's not, what I would call supremely valuable, but it has a boatload of extra goodies. It's got a accessory pack. I think this is the GM screen. Yep. Got a GM screen. It's got some PCs pre-made. It's got some person who ran this game before, some of his notes.
Oh, that makes it primo edition right there.
Complete troubleshooter, whatever that is. The rules themselves. And what else do I got in here?
A box?
Piles of stuff, man. Dig this. Oh, all kinds of handouts and that sort of goodies. And
form pack.
This is a packed book box set. And miniature figures, paper cut, die cut. Look at that.
Ah.
Yeah.
Hey, lucky they're not at all separated and stuff.
With stands that aren't separated. Dang it. Randy is giving away.
I can't believe you want to give that away.
I'll never play Paranoia. Who am I kidding? So, anyway, I want to give this away to some lucky viewer. And
Legion of Myth says 2E Paranoia is the best Paranoia.
Well, then there you go. If Legion says that, I believe it.
The most paranoid.
Yeah.
Oh,
check
Legion
out.
of Myth also says he has a 10-minute introduction video to Paranoia 2E if someone out there doesn't know what it is.
Righto. So, yeah, guys,
I would remind me to put that in the description show notes thing.
I don't think it's terribly super valuable, but it's kind of cool. It's got the old school flair to it. Let's see. It's West End Games and looks like 1987 print. And pretty good shape. I mean, look at the box even. The corners are pretty decent. And
for that old of a box set, sure.
I think I got this at a yard sale or some sort of where did you get the used? There's a place in town. Not
not an antique store.
No, but it's like a
flea market.
People drop stuff off, give things away, and then they sell them. The store sells secondhand stuff.
Secondhand shop or flea market.
Secondhand shop, and I picked it up for $10. So, yeah, it's a sweet one.
Paranoia 2E is kind of hard to get according to Legion of Myth in good condition. So
That's
for a collector or someone who actually likes the game, that's a great gift.
And being a comic guy, I don't know if you grade them the same way. I have watched. I'm part of a RPG auction on Facebook, and I just watch Goodwill. Thank you, Martinson. That's it. Consignment store or Goodwill. Martinson's got it. That's where I got it, I think, at a Goodwill store somewhere. But I know a little bit of grading about comics. But as far as RPGs, I'm learning that the corners, they talk a lot about the corners of box sets, if they're still stuck together. That's probably at least a fine condition box set. The inside looks great. So
Yeah, it's all good stuff.
I won't call it upper end, but anybody that likes Paranoia, that's my way to go. I don't even know if all that stuff actually comes in the box set, because that is one heavy box set.
Yeah, Goodwill. I've looked in their book section every time I've gone with my wife, because she'll want to go to Goodwill and the Salvation Army to get stuff. And for women, you can get decent clothes there.
Yeah.
For men, it all no,
crap
not so much.
Well, I know I may be going Saturday, possibly, to the largest used bookstore I think in the state of Michigan.
Oh.
Near Detroit, and I'm going to look. And my friend told me there is some gaming stuff there. It's probably appropriately priced, but I hope not.
Yeah, but I've never found anything there game-wise.
Right. I think Tim Scott or somebody found some old modules one time for like $1, and they were like first edition AD&D modules. So.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Oh, last thing, because this is a kind of a, what does it say? Yeah, Malachon.
I go to those types of places looking for pants, and they never have my size.
Wow.
The there's a TV show and book series, Reacher. Apparently, when he always replaces his clothes from that kind of a store, and he's a big dude. The actor's only 6'2". But the character is supposed to be 6'4" or 6'5", and I don't believe him. I don't believe you're trying to talk while you're muted.
You don't believe I would try to talk while I'm muted? Of course I would.
Yeah.
I thought I did something cool on the computer and it showed nothing. So there you go. Sorry.
No, but Reacher, like, yeah, I'll just go in here and get some clothes. I'm like, no way.
Mm-hmm.
That's not, no.
Mr. Boivan says you can't get men clothes at Goodwill because men wear their clothes until they're unwearable and beyond. Fact. One hole is not enough reason to get rid of a shirt. Okay, let's talk a little bit about this, because Joe and I both, he got his earlier than me, which was bull crap. We got our Isom 1, which is Eric July's new comic. Did you get yours signed?
No.
Oh, man. You got to pull the geek card. We both read it. I think it's a solid comic book. I think Eric could improve some of the dialogue. That it could be a little better. But I like the heroes. He threw a lot of mystery in. Who is this person? Who is that person? He's definitely shown the world as more than just this one character. And I really liked it.
Yeah, that's probably true, Max. Mr. Max Boivan said maybe that's why Joe got it first, not signed. Yeah. He was, well, maybe. The last thing he did before packing him and shipping was signing them, from what I could tell.
That's okay. I really enjoyed it. I read it really fast. I think at times we've talked about, Joe, sometimes you get a comic, if they don't have enough words on the page, sometimes you feel like you're a little ripped off. There were a few during I know fight scenes are fight scenes. Sometimes I thought, man, they could have a little bit more. I think it's enjoyable. I will be, Man of War. Mine comes in tomorrow.
Tamale.
I think you'll enjoy it. It's definitely opposite of woke and good, and a lot of manly man stuff. Patrick reminded me of something. Speaking of signing, keep your 21st. That's right. We're going to go somewhere really cool. You ought to go with us, Joe.
We are getting ready for our Halloween party, so I probably can't leave.
Have the wife do it. You'll be fine.
I will be shackled to the house.
Okay. Is it that day or the next day?
No, it's that's my long weekend, and that'll be the ideal time to do most of the prep.
Roger. All right, let's get back to White Plume, shall we?
White Plume.
Before we do, you should tell them to do the things that are very important.
Do the thing. Do the thing. Subscribe.
Subscribe, peoples. Like.
I've been meaning to make our own subscribe thing, but it just hasn't happened yet. Anyway, this will suffice. Anyone who's watching after the fact, I'm assuming everybody who's watching right now subscribes currently, but I could be wrong. If not, please hit that subscribe button, like, share, hit the bell notification. I'm not sure how well that works. I keep hearing different things about notifications working okay and then not, and back and forth, getting unsubscribed involuntarily. So yes, if you think you're subscribed, check, make sure. Maybe you're not. You can hit the subscribe button and make our numbers go up.
Man of War 665 Neighbor of the Beast says, I did find many of the writing for crowd-funded comics a tad amateurish. Exception has been Chuck Dixon and Graham Nolan. Well, I don't.
They're pros.
They're pros. And Elle makes a good point. He is an amateur, but I think he's on the right road. It was good enough, but I'm absolutely going to support the next one. I expect the next one to be better. So I think that that's a good choice. I mean, if you want to put money on people that don't hate you, Eric July is one of them. So
that is true, and it's not like you're paying for crap. It's a solid comic.
Yeah, I
think one of the things that happens with these intro comics and what might be off-putting a little bit, I thought it was solid, but not anything special. It might be that he's introducing a lot of people, so he can't focus on one story. So
he's trying to build a universe, and even though he's telling about Isom, he's got to fit this in. And in the crowd-funded or Eric July-funded universe, he's only produced one of these probably every 6 months, maybe at best. I'm guessing. Graham Nolan's pretty prolific. I've done several of his, but Graham's got the skills, dude. That dude was awesome in Batman. And so
he's been in the biz in that trade for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's move on to White Plume. So Joe did a kind of a overview of White Plume from the old school. He had a lot of good points, and what he said is pretty much true for the 3.5 version, which I looked at. They did say at the beginning, players in the 3.5 if they're unused to hack-proof dilemmas, they may find this adventure frustrating. Joe mentioned that. Same thing. So as you decide how your characters are going to get there, they do make, of course, the obvious suggestion that when, as Joe mentioned last week, all three of the powerful artifacts get stolen, and then you are tasked with the idea of returning one. They suggest that one of the owners tells you to get it. If you get all three, that could be interesting. I like the idea of having a rival adventuring party going against the party while they're going in there. So maybe your party is tasked with getting Black Razor, another party is tasked with getting Whelm, and then I think that would be pretty fun, especially when they run into each other. What's Patrick saying? Legion of Myth. After watching your interview with Kevin Simbeta, I arranged a trip. Yeah, that'll be great.
A day trip to Palladium Books for a tour and chat with the man.
Yeah. So I thought
this other guy, Sean Owen Robertson, is he like the new heir apparent dude?
I think he's the one that's getting ready to take over. Yeah, I haven't watched that one yet. Or it's not even out yet. I saw Legion's. I saw it on YouTube. They're getting ready to put it up, or maybe it's already up. So, one thing that I thought that was fully fabulous, and I seem to recall, not that it was the first time I ever saw it, but the little poem. You can't see the poem. I really liked it. As a young DM, it sparked my imagination. I liked how they had a little stanza for each weapon, and there are very subtle clues as to what you will face there. If you've played it before, it seems obvious, but if you haven't, not so much. I think the art by Eero Otis, The Great Swamp. Someone correct me. Isn't the Great Swamp a location in the world of Greyhawk?
Yeah.
I thought so. And you mentioned all those different little statements and did the original have the little undead dragon in the upper corner? Yeah, that was cool. I think some of the more fun things, and again, spoilers are going to abound here. What did you think of the symbol traps as you enter each one of the hallways? Was that in the original?
The symbol traps.
Yeah, once you come to the Sphinx, and she offers you you tell her which path you want to go down. She asks you a little question. I thought the map was really nice. So the 3.5 adventure was like super. It was free, and what a nice colored map this is for each location. There's basically 3 paths you can take, and each path has a symbol trap that she will turn off if you answer her little riddle that she asks you.
Oh, and, right. Hold on.
That's okay.
I think I don't know that they have the symbol trap in here.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's the 3rd edition.
Let's see.
Yeah, there's a symbol trap for each one, and on the way back, it can get you if you try to fight her.
No, you either answer the question. The question, if you get the answer correct, she will remove the wall of force, which is part of this one.
Mm-hmm.
If you circumvent it some kind of way, she will attack.
Yes.
That's what this one is.
Yeah. Well, I think the symbols are actually meant to be used on the way out, because this one, they have a gotcha moment at the end.
Yes, they do.
I think they do in the original, and I really like that. There is one of the riddles. I'm going to give it away right here. So you might play. Look away now. In the north.
Cover your ears. Spoilers.
This is something my friend Philip and I, quote unquote, bonded over when we first met, because he remembered this riddle and we talked about it. He's like, "What module did it come from?" We couldn't remember it, so we looked it up. It says, "Round she is, yet flat as a board, altar of the lupine lords. Jewel on black velvet, pearl in the sea, unchanged, but air-changing eternally." I'm guessing, even from me reading, most people in the chat could probably guess that. I don't think that's a terribly hard riddle. I generally think riddles are super hard. I like easy riddles in my games. What do you think, Joe?
It depends. I mean, if it's too easy, then it's difficult. It's difficult to gauge that, because sometimes you can think you're really clever and they'll never get this in. Yeah, probably won't.
Correct, Martin.
I believe that when I first heard that one was an easy one, but that's me. And that one. There's been so many riddles that I'm like, what the hell are they talking about?
Yeah, I'm not good at them, but the thing is, here's why I say I like them easy. Because if it's gonna be a choke point in the adventure, and it's like, if you don't answer this riddle, the game's over, which it shouldn't be. As a DM, you can go what I think is kind of the less desirable way and let any answer that's close enough count. Some DMs do. Or you can be a stickler, but give them other options. I think as long as you give them other options, I think it's fine to have more challenging riddles. If the riddle is to pass through a portal, or to go into another room, or to get the treasure. Now, if it's you fail the riddle, you have to fight the demon. Oh well, I can live with that, because you still can win. But if it's you fail, the wall of force comes down, it can't be bypassed, and you lose.
Yeah, see, that's in this thing, considering it's 5th to 10th, wall of force is very the upper end of that range. Yeah. The wall of force is really not much to get past. So if you try to just skip past it, then you have to fight the Sphinx. Again, if you're toward the end of that 4 to 10, that Sphinx isn't going to be too hard to beat.
Duncan Bradley, who is kind of a youngling when it comes to D&D, I know him. Who has better riddles, the Sphinx or Minotaurs? I actually, in my games, it's always been the Sphinx. I've never used the idea of Minotaurs and riddles, but Malachi has a great answer as well. Duncan Bradley, neither, the Riddler. But this is for 7th level, Joe. Remember, in 3.5, everything is geared,
for one level.
But this is not really true in this adventure. It's not appropriate encounter, but for 7th level characters is considered ideal. So, I agree with you. I prefer a riddle that can be failed, That's fine. And as long as there's a consequence that doesn't stop the game, I'm good with it.
But I've played with some DMs that insist on you solving puzzle
you sit there
or riddle, and if you don't, you can't move past this point until you successfully solve the riddle.
Right.
And in the old days, you're sitting there for hours.
Well, I think in the old days I did that some, but that's because I didn't know there were other options as a young DM. It says here they got to do this to go through the door.
This one he was trying to be creative, and he substituted the puzzle in the module because everybody knew it with a hand puzzle. One of those little things that you have to are two pieces, and you have to get them apart from each other, and it's some kind of weird way to do it, or multiple pieces. And
and this could be true.
Forever.
Yeah, Elle makes a good point. It could be you can't answer it because it's too early in the adventure, and then you have to go back and find clues, unless there's no clues like in this adventure.
Yeah, and this is at the very beginning. And there's a way around.
Here's a good riddle. Role-playing's the right way. Lovely and round, I'm shimmering white. Grown in the darkness, a lady's delight. What am I? Is that still the moon? Lovely and round, I'm shimmery white. Grown in the darkness, a lady's delight. That's the last part. See, I get stuck here. Lady, I would say the moon still, but I could be wrong.
Anybody else? Thinking of mushroom.
Mushroom, okay. Oh, mushroom, okay.
That's what Malachi says.
Sure. Okay. Pearl. Okay,
that's good. A pearl. Yeah, a pearl. A pearl.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Nice one, role play the right way. I like that. That's not hard, even though Randy didn't get it. I don't mind.
Yes, a man of war. Neighbor of the Beast. Yeah. Do you mean the puzzles you grab at Barnes & Noble when you're in line checking out? Yes, that kind of puzzle.
Area 3, if you go down the section of the dungeon that has the Dwarven Warhammer Well, did you notice the waterlogged green slime patch? It's on the ceiling. Hey, roleplay, what's up, man? But I think, Joe, remember I talk about, you remember it, you experienced it, when I had the green slime under the water? I think I misread that it was under the water instead of on the ceiling. I think this is where I got it from. I may have put it under the water, which seems really appropriate.
Because that's what it is in here.
Yeah.
In the old one.
Uh-huh.
Let's see. Let me find the green slime.
This one is above on the ceiling.
Covers the floor in the indicated area. As it is totally covered by water, it is not easily detectable, and characters may walk through it.
So Randy gets a pass. I did run it as written.
Yeah.
I murdered every character the first time through with that.
Yeah, because you walk on it, you're in the middle of it before you know it, because it takes some time to eat. It takes time for it to eat through your boots.
Yep.
And then you're stuck. You're in the middle of it. And if you don't have a way to fly or levitate or whatever.
Yeah. You feel a little pain in your feet, so you start walking back, pain all up your legs, and your knees start buckling. You fall to the ground. Oh, yeah, because green slime killed you fast. It killed you fast. I thought the Chamber of Globes was really cool. Did you read that one, Joe?
Say that again.
Talking about cool. I'm trying to highlight some of the cool scenes. There's a Chamber of Globes in White Plume Mountain.
Yes.
And so if you break the globes, they get a certain hardness. Then sometimes you get treasure. Sometimes you release a monster like Gray Ooze. That was really good.
So, yeah, and that's another one where you hit the thing and it just goes everywhere, and you have to be very careful how you tell the DM you do things and where everybody's standing, because Gray Ooze, ouch time. Yeah. It's basically just acid, ball of acid.
But they have some really good, cool boss monsters. And so there's 3 paths. Each path has a boss monster. One of them's got a sweet vampire. The other is a massive crab. And the last one, was that an ogre mage, I believe?
Well, depends on what you mean by last one. When you read through the order here, you can take either of the 3 paths.
Yes.
But when in order of description, the vampire's last in the old module.
Oh, okay.
So it's edited differently. I'm sure it's a much longer module. This is only 13 pages.
Yeah.
14 pages.
Oh, this one is, oh gosh. This one is 36.
Yeah.
Well, but they also expand the weaponry. They do weapons of legacy. So Whelm, Black Razor, and Wave are all basically leveled items that get better as you do. They kind of tap out at, well, it varies. Wave eventually becomes a +5 trident with several powers. Whelm eventually becomes, that's the Warhammer, a +3 giant and goblinoid bane Warhammer. And let's see here.
That's it?
Oh, it's got, well, there's several other powers too that I'm skipping over, little minor.
Oh.
Yeah, it's kind of it. That's not the greatest. And then Black Razor is pretty good. It's not as good as it used to be. It does have a soul drinking property. You can haste 10 times a day, 10 rounds a day. It's a +5 vicious greatsword. So when you hit someone, you take a d6 damage in addition to the weapon, the damage they take. It has a soul drinking, but I wanted to look at that. The soul drinking seemed kind of lame. When you hit 0 hit points, how did the soul drinking work on the original?
Let's see. Let's see. Black Razor, chaotic neutral sword +3. Let's see, temporarily adds the number.
Talk about how the soul drinking works. So in 3/5,
temporary on a killing stroke, Black Razor temporarily adds the number of levels of the dead foe to its bearer's level. In terms of fighting ability,
yep.
The bearer also temporarily gains the full hit points of the victim.
Dude, it was much more powerful. The soul drinking here, if you knock someone to 0 or fewer, you activate a death knell effect. They get a saving throw that is 12 plus either Black Razor's charisma modifier or yours, whichever is higher. If they fail the save, they die and their soul is sucked into Black Razor. Any creature slain in this manner cannot be raised from the dead by any magic less powerful than Miracle, True Resurrection, or Wish. Those are all 9th level spells in 3rd edition.
The cool thing, another cool thing about Black Razor is if you attack an undead with it, the sucking goes the other way.
Yes.
So you hit an undead, it sucks your soul into the sword, not into the undead, I don't think.
Yeah. Yeah, this is... Oh,
no, to the creature.
Yeah, to the creature. Yeah, so that's the reverse is here too. Now, one thing... Oh, you can only use the ability once per day at 10th level. That's it, on top of that. So 3rd edition really nerfed it.
Yeah.
And haste, you can't even use haste till 16th level. It's kind of weak.
That's dumb. That's dumb. Yeah. So here, Wave, the Trident.
Yeah.
It's 1 to 10 damage. Trident of Fish Commanding.
Yep. Ditto.
Trident of Warning.
Yep. No.
Finds water.
Yeah, Warning finds water. Yeah.
Water breathing and underwater action.
Oh, this one has Horde wilting.
Oh, that's pretty powerful.
Hydrate, yeah, once per day. Yeah.
Oh, this one dehydrates. It's not Horde wilting. It's just called dehydrate.
What kind of damage?
This one dehydrates his opponent, draining 1/2 of his or her remaining hit points.
Oh, this one is going to be, if I remember Horde wilting correctly, it's cast as 19th level, so it'll be 19 D8.
D8
damage.
That's pretty good.
DC
that's pretty
22 or 18 plus your charisma mod.
How many times a day can you do that though?
Right.
Once a week.
Once a year.
Yeah.
That was a week.
This one is on a natural 20.
Oh, a week.
Cube of Force.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Wave does Cube of Force. I don't think this one does. That was the one thing that was really cool about Wave. Everybody loved that ability. I remember that. You know, whenever we get around to really focusing on Mudsword again, that's for those that are new, Mudsword is mine and Joe's code name for the role-playing game we're eventually going to write, or I may end up writing. Joe's really busy with big
code name.
but I want to have. I don't want to have dumb powers like that. If something's going to be awesome, it's going to be awesome. It's not these weird contrived. Oh, I don't want it to be. Especially if it's. These are like mini artifacts, in my opinion. They should be. So they're pretty tough. But,
Whelm is a hammer +3 or +5 for dwarves.
Yep.
Can be thrown and will return from up to 150 feet thrice per day, dwarves only.
Yep.
Acts as a hammer of stunning. Once per day, when you strike the ground, it will send forth a shockwave. Stunning for up to 45 hit points of enemies. Detects gold and gems in the presence of goblins. Oh yeah, and you get agoraphobia.
Well, Whelm in this one, and a lot of them, you have to accomplish certain things. So to get certain powers, like I think to unlock some of the abilities, you got to fight a giant of some type that's 1 to 4 levels above your party and defeat it. You and the party, and the same.
Oh yeah.
You got to fight 30 or more hit dice, so that's not too bad. Yeah, it's not bad. +3 weapon proficiency. Actually, I don't know if this one comes back to you. That's weak. No, I don't think it returns. How lame. 3-5 dumb stuff. Dumb stuff.
150 feet is a really cool ability to throw. You can throw over a chasm or up the side of a wall. You know, if you're fighting somebody on a castle wall, you can use it as a ranged weapon when you don't have one. So that's a pretty cool ability.
Yeah, El is saying how 3rd edition, he's mentioning some of the crappy parts of 3rd edition. I have to agree with you, dude. There's some things that just frustrated me. Yeah, just a bunch of dumb restrictions. I agree. It's no fun. But the adventure is awesome. And I think, like, at the end, you have this creature that says, okay, I'm glad you completed this. I won't give, whatever. It's an Afridi. I'm giving it away. He says, you need to come with me or I'm going to kill you because you guys can't leave. And if you're foolish enough to surrender, he takes you to Caractus, whoever that is. They don't describe Caractus other than he's a powerful wizard. He's the one that captured all these weapons. Yeah, there's some really good. I know one of the passages, the one that's the inverted ziggurat that you go down. It has it's a gauntlet of encounters, some pretty tough monsters. So yeah, it's pretty cool. But there are plenty of places where if you don't use your brain, you said this last week, you will go down. You can't
bulldoze your way through it.
Yeah, I don't think 4th to 6th, 7th level characters could bulldoze their way through the whole thing without resting. You have to come back out, and it's hard to do if that one dude's waiting on you.
Yeah, and does it say where they take you apart from 2 Caractus in there?
Nope, it leaves it wide open.
Really? Because in the old module, they call it the Indoctrination Center.
Oh, that's right. It does say that. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me see if I can. Yeah, there's a cool little phrase. When
that kind of paints a picture.
Yeah, it sure does. Here's an encounter I thought was strange. What did you think of the airborne stream? If you guys can see this, there's an Otis, and there's this stream of water about waist high floating through 2 holes in the room, and you got to go through on these little canoes, and on the other side is a person named Snarla, a werewolf.
Yeah.
Jump you. I think that's Snarla.
They can tell that the water's being disturbed, and then they know that you're coming, and then they throw nets on you, try to beat you down. So,
yeah, Malachi is asking. Says something that this adventure was returned to in the 20. Yeah, there was a bunch of 25th anniversary adventures that was returned to White Plume Mountain. I was lamenting to Joe that I'd like to buy that off eBay, but I don't want to pay the $40+ for it. In some cases, even higher. Yeah, that pick was the original. I think the 3-5 adventure is actually really solid. As much as 3rd edition made characters a little too uber, in my opinion. Too many dials to flip, too many dials to turn and levers to flip. I do think this will be a real challenge, even for a maxed out 7th level party. they would face. I mean, I don't think some of the fights would be all that tough, but they would have a challenge with some of the tricks.
Other stuff.
Yeah.
The vampire would be.
Oh, third edition vampire is no joke.
Oh no.
And this one's a dwarven fighter vampire in 3/5. So he's pretty tough.
Well, I'm just saying it's different because they had the vampire in here poses as a halfling.
Well, that was
Quesnel, the halfling.
Isn't that the half
Quesnef.
ogre? That's the half ogre.
Quesnef.
That's the ogre mage.
Ogre mage.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, there's also a vampire. Oh, maybe this the ogre mage is posing.
Tenmir is this? It's Centmir or Tenmir the vampire. Yeah, and this one.
Well, maybe the end. Let me see. Maybe this. There's a vampire in here.
Probably can't see it, but I'll try. There's
the vampire.
Fighter 6.
Centmir. Yeah.
Centmir.
Or however you pronounce CTEN.
For those that are familiar with,
ILR. 10 Miller.
They call it a CR8, a challenge for a party of 8th level characters. He has an AC of 26 though, but he only has 39 hit points.
Yeah, this guy doesn't have a lot of hit points either, I don't think.
So
let's see.
But he is wielding Whelm, and he
40
3 or 4 times. And that's not bad back in the old days, but here it's weak. In 3/5, I'd have to at least double those hit points to make that worth anybody's time.
And they don't really go into detail about the vampire itself. They just say that he has 40 hit points and has an armor class of 1.
Yeah.
Which is a good armor class in this edition of the game.
Yeah, 21 essentially in Horizon.
And considering how to hit was hard to get high at this end, at the low end of the game, it's going to be hard to hit the guy.
Yeah. What was your favorite part of the adventure? What did you like best?
I'd have to say, let's see. Let me look at the map because there's all kinds of good stuff here. I like the lobster.
He's cool. Yeah. My favorite actually is the poem. I love that. And I love the fact that the adventure is so basic, yet it's rich. They have a lot of hints at things and good flavor, but it's not like so detailed like the Pathfinder adventure, leaves a lot of room for working it to your own desires. I think that adventure could translate to any edition of D&D pretty well. I don't know about, it could 5e, probably 4e too, but definitely AD&D, original D&D, and 3rd edition. It plays perfectly fine. Did you have a not so favorite part or something you didn't like in it?
I don't think so.
Yeah, that's how good. I mean, I tell you what.
Oh, okay. I'll say, White Plume Mountain is a tournament module, right?
Yep.
And so you start at the dungeon entrance. And when I first read that, I was like, but if you, as a DM, get this and you want to have more than one session out of it, there's enough little tidbits in there for you to build on it easily. And there's even a direction back to town, so that there is there's civilization not too far off, so you can make up there's a nice background. It'd be easy to fill in the beginning part and be able to make it look like you've just happened upon White Plume Mountain when you wanted them to go there in the first place.
Yeah.
So,
I think
that if there's anything disappointing, it's that I never liked, not too much. I don't want to spend half the session trying to get to the adventure.
Right.
But showing up at the adventure's mouth is also a little odd.
At a bare minimum, what I would do, if you're playing 7th level characters, they're probably in the campaign. El's saying something provocative. I may have to respond, but I'll wait. I like his statement, though. I think that if I were to run it, well, now I know I would do it. I wouldn't start you at the adventure's mouth. I would probably consider, if you got 6th, 7th level, 5th level characters, I would take some well-known guy that you already met, that somebody you probably did an adventure for, and they call you and go, hey, I used to have this artifact in my collection. Now, when he says artifact, he doesn't care about the magic. To him, it's a collector's item. It's been stolen, and here's what was left. And he would show you the poem. I know where White Plume Mountain is. Would you guys go retrieve this for me? That's probably how I would do it. And I would probably have an encounter or two along the way, because I wouldn't put White Plume Mountain right by the city. And maybe make it 4 or 5 days away on horseback, so maybe 10 days if you were walking, and let you have a little bit of adventure and maybe connect it to another adventuring party. I like that too. That potential. They mentioned that in the 3.5 one. Is that mentioned in the original? But another adventure?
Not really.
Yeah. Malachi says the return to White Plume Mountain added some encounters around the volcano. That's reasonable. I think that's a good move. Darth Theok is using it as a capstone. That's good. I don't know. I think for me to say that I don't like, maybe I don't like the low hit points in that vampire. That's just picky. But I would just double it and move on.
Well, in AD&D and older editions, well, I'm not sure about older editions, but I know first edition D&D vampires, you had to have a +2 weapon to harm them, didn't you? At least a magic weapon.
In AD&D, you had to have a silver or magic weapon, I believe. L asked a question: did both? I'm assume both versions ask the same. No,
not both versions. He's asking you if both parties that have been sent in there and they're kind of operating at odds, are they both asked for the same item?
Oh, the adventure itself doesn't tell you which item to choose. You pick which one you want them to recover.
No, but in your version, when you send out the party and then you have a rival party, are they both after the same?
No, I would make it different, but neither one of them would know. So it could be that you could come to agreement. Hey, we're sent to White Plume, and you're sent to White Plume to get Black Razor. They're sent to get Whelm, and you guys meet, and you're like, hey, what are you doing here? We're here adventuring. And then they would think, oh, they're trying to get the same thing we're getting. I wouldn't even mention the other two. That's me. I would keep it secret, keep it safe. So the party, if I wanted to make it interesting, make that second party more of a neutral party where they could be allies, right? But Al, they both had it as a suggested way to get the adventure started.
Right, because all three are up for grabs, and not a particular one of them was suggested as the item to go get.
Right, just choose one.
Choose one and do that. Or, let me see here. I wonder. Let me make sure.
While you're looking. Lady One says, not sure how I feel about the concept of a D&D tournament play. I enjoyed the Shadowrun mission and Prime Runner mission, but it just felt like, that's always been a weird thing. I talked about that once with my experience with the RPGA. I agree, it's a weird thing. But I think I would extend it. I might even do 3 parties and have a party already in the dungeon and just roll randomly where they're at. So let them be after the 3rd weapon, but they may be in the hall where Black Razor is. And I might have them getting killed or fighting you at some point.
Okay. In this first edition version, all 3 are being sought after.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But your party's sent to get all 3?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you could do that. There's no reason. The guys are talking about tournament play. L says it sucked. My experience was not suckage, just weird, because we were getting scored as we did things. Did they check behind the painting to see if there was a secret door?
Probably have to check a lot of boxes.
Did they get? And now when I played was a Planescape game during 2nd edition. If you didn't get to a certain point in the adventure, you had no chance to go to the 2nd day. And there was a round for every day up until the last day, and then the big winner would get it. In the RPGA tournament back in 2nd edition and several, I think it wasn't that year, but the year before, one time the prize for the winner of the tournament was a copy of everything that TSR made that year. And that was a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And each person in the group got that.
Wow.
So you got like 10 or 20 items for winning. So it was pretty huge. I think there's an element to it that could be fun. The scoring just sounds, I mean, to keep the biases out of the way, you'd have to do like they get to this room, they killed the ogre, they did this, they found the +4 sword. You can't be, it's hard to, if you're going to grade them on role playing, that's an opinion.
Yeah, subjective. Even the idea that they could, the tournament play idea is to me a little silly. It always has been. I don't get it. Expedition to D's nuts. That's awesome.
Play the right way.
Thank you, DM James.
Yeah, buddy, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, that's funny. Anyway, tournament play is not, in my opinion, D&D.
I agree.
D&D is cooperative.
Yeah.
The party has, no matter what kind of party you have, they should have a shared goal. Yeah. Whether that's glory and honor, whether that's kicking evil's pants, whether that's, conquering all in sight. The party has a goal and they are cooperating for the most part. You can have a little conflict, but
I'm not interested in role-playing serious PC conflict. I mean, you can do it. I get it. It's part of the game, and it can be part of the game, and I would still call that D&D. But to me, it never turns out very well. And even when it does, it's just not fun to me. I don't like to have a character that I'm really trying to conspire against heavily. Or a player. I'm sorry, the player.
Well, L says, which is why I said the AD&D line was a failure, Joe. Well, I don't think that. I know a lot of people say it's tournament rules, and whether or not you're right, I don't know for sure. A lot of people say it, so it's probably something there.
Do you mean 1E and 2E? Because I would disagree with that.
AD&D.
AD&D.
Well, first edition was made as a tournament, as a standardization for tournaments, and then second edition didn't differ from it a whole lot. But we didn't do any of that. It didn't engender in us any sort of tournament type of mentality that I know of.
We pretty much glossed over it.
There was no PvP aspect to the game that was implicit that I saw. It was you get your group and you go out and you do the thing together.
Yeah, Legion of Myth, I agree. PvP works in a game like Aliens. Yes. The cinematic mode, not campaign mode, for sure.
One shots.
You need it. It made it. Everybody knew somebody was going to be the jerk. Somebody was going to be the turncoat. We happened to have 2 in the party, and it turned out really fun. And Patrick makes a good point. If I'm scoring a party on what they do and what they accomplish, it's only to determine the rewards. Yeah, at the end of the adventure. Right on, dude. Yeah, but I don't know if that causes AD&D to be a failure, unless L is saying it's a failure because that was their stated goal, was to make it a tournament-style game, which may have been. I don't know if that's. I get that Gygax wanted to be able to play tournaments, but I don't know. It might have been.
Well, it wasn't just tournaments, though. He wanted to standardize play at everybody's table.
Right.
I've read little bits about that, and I get that, but that failed too.
On one level, I understand that, because you know how it was. We get new players. My buddy Philip again. He brought his Druid Magic user into my second edition game in college. I had to look at it first and say, yep, no, not going to keep that. Can't have that. When he comes to my world, he loses this item. No. Or, yeah, that's fine. We're always vetting every character that rolls in. And then there was the whole process of, Philip was a good player and I enjoyed playing with him, but he had to figure out how I like to play. I had to figure out how he had liked to play because the rules were a little bit different. So, yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, the vetting part is essential. And it's one of the things the DM should do. Shouldn't just say, yeah, do whatever you want, butterfly.
Yeah, and that's probably still true, but I think Gygax had a bit of a pipe dream in this style of game. And maybe it's because I don't want to say he didn't fully understand it, but I mean, it was new. It was still fairly new. So he thought it was going to be something maybe that it wasn't quite going to be. So I don't know.
I think that he probably had some reason in his head that sounded good to him, whatever that was. But I don't care for two reasons.
Yeah.
Gary doesn't play at our table.
Right.
And Gary's dead.
Well, Patrick says current WoTC appears to be doubling down on Gygax's standardized play at everyone's table to our endless chagrin. Yeah, and I think I don't know if they care how you play exactly, as long as you buy all the stuff they want you to buy. They'll say they want you to play with all the, pronouns and stuff, but I don't know. Okay, so but before we leave White Plume, because we're getting off the topic, can we? Because I don't think compare and contrast is hard because you don't have the 3.5 one, do you? You've not read it.
No,
I've not read the old one, but they sound pretty close. But how would you rate it if we said 1 was a real stinker of a module and 10 was that is the bomb? What would you give White Plume Mountain?
1 and 10, I think I would give it at least a 7.
Yeah, see, you're a much harder grader than me. I would give it a 9. For my money, it's got so much. It makes me think of new things of what I could add to. I can envision a campaign just blowing up from this adventure, becoming a real thing, blowing up in a good way, becoming much better than it started.
The reason I think is I give it a 7 is I don't think it's awesome for the neophyte DM, because the neophyte might just run it as is and then it will be over in a night, most likely, or could be even sooner because everybody will die. But it's excellent, I think, for an experienced DM because they can flesh it out. They know the tricks of these monsters, and you could use this module to take a high level party down a peg. High level being 7th, 8th, 9th in this version of the game. So yeah, you could do that. But also it has old production standards, which maybe I'm being a little bit harsh judging it by those standards, but they're not, the production value isn't great, even though it has a pretty cool Errol Otis pieces in it.
Yeah.
But I still think 7 out of 10 is a pretty decent.
Oh
score.
no, I don't think you were pooping on it.
I think it, for it to be at a 9 or a 10, I think it would need, I don't know what. I'm also not sure what more it would need to get to 9 and 10. I'm picking 7 because I think it's really good, but not sure what it would take to get to the higher spots really.
Elle makes a good point. It's too easy. Jump down the ziggurat after range killing the lowest level, no problem. That's within the realm of possibility, but I believe, let me look real quick. I think that lowest level guy could hide on you, but who knows? You might be right. I seem to recall players doing that one time. So Elle's not probably too far off. I think there are places, though, that are not too easy. Mm-hmm. I think that green slime trap in the first edition is a killer. There's no two ways around it. Unless you know it's there, you're probably going to get smoked. Welcome, Bruce. Glad you made it, bud. Thanks for helping Joe out last week. I appreciate it. Joe said I was not necessary. You proved that. So thank you, sir. Mm-hmm. Appreciate it.
Oh, I don't get this, L.
What did he say?
And it is worse. How do you return later? Who said it? And put Wave Whelm and Storminger back in it. Oh, return. I don't know if return has those same things in it.
Return probably has the same. If you read, I get the feeling that Caraptus, who is the guy that's behind the thievery, he's probably a pretty uber level wizard.
Oh, sure.
He's an archmage at a minimum. So, yeah, I don't know. I've not read Return. I want to get it, though. I probably will at some point. I'll break down and buy it.
But if it does have all 3 and similar monsters in it, then that would be stupid.
Well, the Return modules, somebody help me out. Actually, I think they were new adventures. So who knows? It could be 100 years later, and Caraptus has still survived. He's a lich now. And 3.5, he asked the question. Elle says, is 3.5 the return? Nope. It just says a reimagine. So it's just White Plume Mountain. So it's not a return. 3.5 is just White Plume Mountain.
So that's just a rewritten module.
A rewritten module, yeah.
Yeah, retool for third edition. But there is a module called Return to White Plume Mountain, right? And
yeah,
so
yeah,
I would hope that you could have a similar premise where Caraptus says, yeah, well, they got the other three. Let me take some other stuff and throw it in here, and you try to defeat my module now, or my mountain now. Do it now. I made it harder. There's different things in here now.
Oh, I don't have is present a new word for share? Is there no share tab on my thing now?
What are you talking about?
I'm trying
what
to
you talking about, Willis?
Oh,
share what?
Share screen. Let's see here.
Hello, Ryan.
There you go.
Ah.
Silver Anniversary. Return to White Plume Mountain. That is the cover.
Yeah. I remember the Silver Anniversary.
Yeah, that's the dude. Yeah. I don't know if there's a White Plume for 5e. Could be.
I wouldn't doubt it. They remake everything.
Yeah, they do. So nothing's new. Malachi says there are false Carapti in return. There's Carapti.
Craptuses.
Yeah. Thanks, Bruce. Yeah, I know. StreamYard. Thought I was there.
Oh,
second edition. Yeah, I'm
second edition. Yeah.
Oh, is it in? Yeah, it is. Malachi. He's right. 5e. Return Tales of the Yawning Portal. It's just a 5e conversion, though, right? No new fancy stuff. I should look at it. I have that book. Anyway, so shall we move on to our second topic? It is 8:46. I think we can do it. Let's just don't spend too long on. What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's get in.
Yeah. So
I called this part 2 of the boundaries. I didn't say it was the finale like the White Plume Mountain thing.
Right. We're gonna focus on now the pushing boundaries idea. We focused a lot on rule set last time. We're going to try to give more mention to settings and adventure modules. There is the 3 main D&D settings were Greyhawk, Forgotten Realms, and Mystara. Right? Mystara was the known world for D&D. It didn't get called Mystara till later.
Yeah, I think so.
Greyhawk was the first, unless you want to argue Blackmore. I won't argue Blackmore. It's the first I knew of. And they were pretty generic. I say that in a good way. They were a fantasy world, and they didn't try to be too much.
Greyhawk had some interesting tidbits, but not a lot of detail, at least early on. Forgotten Realms went way over the other direction.
Yeah,
yes.
Mystara was for D&D, I believe.
Yes.
It was Dungeons and Dragons. The known world was later. Realms, Greyhawk, and Dragonlance would be AD&D, correct? But Mystara was the known world, I believe, for D&D.
I think that
did they do an AD&D version of it?
I think that they may have done Mystara has come up from time to time, past the 3rd edition marker. So now I can't remember much about what happened at that time because I didn't pay attention to it.
Yeah. There is a 5e version for Mystara now that's free, right?
Yes, it's free. And he made it free for some reason. And it was funny, but I can't remember what it was.
But anyway, I guess you could say the Greyhawk box set it showed you how to it didn't push a boundary, but it showed you how to kind of design a world in great detail. I don't know how much, as much as I enjoyed the Gazetteer, I love the maps. I still have the maps. I have them laminated. They're beautiful. As much as I enjoyed the maps, I don't think I gained much other than names and places in the Gazetteer.
Right, it just had highlights.
Yeah. When Forgotten Realms came around, Thunder Rift, that was a completely different setting, right? That was not in the world of Mystara? Is that not in the known world? I can't remember. Yeah, and the Red Steel had a continent in Mystara, true. But I think those worlds, along with Mystara, were kind of if you want to have a D&D world, here's 3 examples of how to play D&D in some world. And so today we wouldn't see that as pushing any boundaries, though Greyhawk was new. I think the Forgotten Realms had more high adventure, more flash, but I don't think it was better than Greyhawk.
Well,
And
I think the other thing that they had was a lot of people writing fiction in it. That, in my opinion, wasn't very good.
That pushed it harder. That pushed it harder, though. People, whether you liked it or not, a lot of folks liked it.
Yeah, a lot of folks did. It established a lot of canon for Forgotten Realms. So, you had people talking about it. They had their shared thing going by enjoying the Forgotten Realms together. I just never cared for it.
I do think, welcome, Ryan. I'm not sure I've seen you before, Ryan, at Aqua Media. I've been checking out Kara-Tur, the spiritual successor to Mystara by Bruce Hurd. Why does that name sound familiar? Looks neat, but no experience playing with it yet. Oh, okay. Yeah.
I saw it out there in the internet. Kara-Tur.
I think the Birthright had a name that started with an A for the world, I think. It's a good question. Role play the world. I forgot the name of it. Anybody know the name of the Birthright world? Anyway, that's leading us to where I think other settings that push boundaries. I'm just going to list some real quick and see if people agree with these. So that's okay, Joe. I thought Dragonlance pushed a little bit on the narrative side, telling a drama, especially with the modules.
Okay.
I think Ravenloft and a little lesser known cousin, Masque of the Red Death, old gothic horror suspense sort of thing. Dark Sun, I would call post-apocalyptic.
Yes.
And Birthright not fleshed out, but Birthright really pushed domain play. You think
for AD&D, sure.
AD&D, yeah. My favorite, losing steam, Planescape, planar travel. I still maintain it has a lot of good stuff.
But you skipped right over Spelljammer.
Oh, yeah. Pirates in Space. That was a boundary push.
I think it was a mispush. There's people that like Spelljammer, but I thought it was a neat concept, but poor execution.
I didn't like it. I remember I bought it, and I was really like, I don't think I want this, but my gotta have them all mentality, which I still struggle with, said you must own Spelljammer. So I bought it, and as soon as we got it, as we're looking at it, I'm like, I don't like this. And I remember you thinking, oh, it's kind of cool. In my back of my head, I'm like, this is kind of poop. I'm like, I don't want to be a pirate in space. Right.
Darthik says Dragonlance really played off the alignment system to the max. Yes. However, I remember picking up one of the books. I can't remember which one it was in the vast amount of books they had.
Right.
But it started out describing a dodecahedron, a D20,
right,
as some kind of supernatural thing that existed out there around the planet.
Oh.
And then I put the book down and stopped reading any of them because I thought it was the stupidest thing I ever heard of.
Yeah.
I was not ever really thrilled with their books anyway.
Who's that? The Dragonlance ones?
The Dragonlance books. I didn't think they were that great.
I wanted to read them.
Too derivative.
I wanted to read them so bad, but never did. This is not bad. Malachi said the Dragonlance modules are like GURPS books. You read them for info. Yeah. I've heard GURPS has some great setting information and stuff.
Yeah, the Dragonlance modules, though, were crap because they were total railroads.
Dude, Darth, he and I are always like right on simpatico. He said, again, why fly a ship in space to get to another world when you can just go through a gate when you're high enough level? True, son. Oof. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
I step from here to there. No need to be in the dangerousness of the phlogiston.
Right. Now, to be fair, did Planescape come out before Spelljammer? I can't remember.
I
gotta take a peek at this. Spelljammer in '89. Planescape must have been later. Planes 94, yeah, quite a bit later. But I still agree with Darth.
Yes, definitely.
When I got Planescape, I was like, screw Spelljammers. Actually, I said screw Spelljammer at the beginning. Then there was this kind of a dark pulp, semi-tech Wonders Eberron setting. Then Council of Wyrms, dude. Let's play
dragons.
And that sounded cool. And again, once I got it, I was like, You can play the companion or you can play the dragon. And I was like, I don't want Joe playing a dragon.
I can play a dragon? No.
No. Other people could. You can't.
No. You can be their goblin buddy. That's what you could be.
Yeah. Bruce spelled it out for us. Spelljammer 89, Planescape 94. Thank you, sir. But I thought it was kind of a neat idea. Then they did the whole settings with all mirroring all the world cultures that everybody hates now. Appropriating, Kara-Tur, Maztica, the Horde, and Theros, of course. And you know what? I never cared for them before, but I love them now. Just because
I always liked the Oriental Adventures book.
Yeah.
Now the Kara-Tur campaign setting, I didn't really get into, but I liked the Oriental Adventures as a book.
Oh, Patrick, Randy, your mom's description of what you guys did as a hobby would be more accurate with Council of Wyrms. Okay, I got to tell this one. So years ago, I have you guys know I'm Christian, and back when I was younger, I was not so much practicing believer, and my aunt was very into it, and it was during the whole satanic panic stuff, and she was complaining about us playing D&D, that it was devil stuff, and my mother, she pipes up, she goes, they are not into satanic stuff. They're down in the basement pretending to be dragons. Yes, it's stupid, but that's all they're doing. That was so funny. They're pretending to be dragons. Dude, say it, son. Role play the right way. Stop rattling your bone box before you get your name written in the dead book. That's right. That's a good one. I love the language in Planescape. That was fabulous. So good. We need to leave town. He's out of town. Yeah. Out of touch. Out of town, I believe, was out in one of the gate towns, and out of touch was out in the plains itself. So, cool stuff. There's a whole website. I wish I had it that gives you all the lowdown. Gives you the dark of the
dark
language. That's what they called it. Yeah.
Right. So, and then we had the city-based with Lankmar.
I
wouldn't say that's too much of a boundary push because Lankmar is pretty much standard fantasy fare.
Except I don't think there were too many wizards being played in that game. I think they encouraged you to play thieves and fighters.
Correct.
To go along with the Mouser, the Gray Mouser.
Like in a lot of pulp fantasy from back in the day, the sorcerers were the bad guys.
Yeah.
For the most part.
What about, I remember when 3rd edition first came out, and Patrick, we've talked about this before. I thought D&D was going to become Magic the role-playing game. And now they have 3 settings or more based off Magic card sets. Ravnica, Strixhaven, and I think Theros are all related to Magic the Gathering. I actually think, whether I like 5e or not, whether you like it or not, you don't like wizards or not, I think that's a smart business move.
Sure. If they do it, if they implement it correctly, they could easily make, there's a lot of flavor on the cards that you could string together and make good lore for a setting. It would definitely be high magic. I don't know how you could explain a first level wizard in any of those settings. And I mean, what you have, you're playing like your real world component has maybe 1 or 2 cards. Right. So the Magic the Gathering setting is extremely powerful, very high magic compared to D&D.
And there's lots of places in it in worlds. Malachi says, for the longest time, Magic the Gathering wanted nothing to do with D&D. Yeah. Then I think they realized and they even had the card set. Role play the right way. It says Innistrad. I know nothing about it. Would be a great setting. I do have the board. They had a tile miniature battle game. I bought that super cheap at Walmart. Great set of minis. What is Randy? L is asking me a question. I don't know. You have to watch DM James review Garabay. Is that what it is? Yes. Let me write that down. Garabay. Oh my! Are we talking? Jason?
Is that what he means by Garibay?
I'm guessing it's Garibay. Correct me if
I
I'm
mean, it's possible. Garibay, is he doing anything?
Yeah. Gothic Horror Randy, something. Oh, what Innistrad is. Yes, thank you. Yeah, Jay Scott. All right, yeah. I know that guy. Sometimes I go over there to see what he's doing.
Okay.
He's just kind of look. I don't get his viewpoints. He's weird to me. I don't get it. Whatever. Now put some honorable mentions, and this is more because this is started in the 3rd edition era. The Theros setting for 5th edition was a Greek god setting.
That's why.
Oh, okay. Oh, I bet I'll check it out, Jay. I'll check it out for sure.
Apparently, the douchebag started commenting in DM James. So, yeah.
Here's a question, guys. Listen, I hate talking about the guy behind his back. He seems like he's just off. He has a tunnel vision. I saw something one time where he was talking about you must buy the newest D&D supplement to keep D&D relevant, and also I'm like, why do I have to buy it? So anyway, but in 3rd edition, with the open game license came a lot of third-party settings. And I know Bruce is a big fan of Ptolus. That's an interesting, massive city, on a spire sort of game. Midgard's got a lot of Fae-flavored stuff rolling in the world. Golarion's a kitchen sink. We loved Golarion initially, but when I step back and look at it, I do feel like it's just kind of shoehorning everything in it. I
agree.
I think the Scarred Lands was I can't say better. I've not read the Theros setting, but I absolutely love the Scarred Lands, especially with their theme was gods versus the Titans. That was really cool. And
right.
I absolutely love those.
I think that the supplements for that I read lent to its flavor. You didn't necessarily need to buy the setting. You could just buy a couple of supplements. You get the idea of what's going on, and you could easily just make maps and jump in. You don't need to buy a big setting book.
Oh, Malachi. Now, I don't know this one. I do have Castles and Crusades. And don't forget about Erdi from Troll Lord Games. I don't know what the world's like, but I've
never heard of it.
It's their setting for Castles and Crusades, and they've got a lot of stuff. But Bruce is right on. Your Gelspod was their main continent in Scarred Lands. This is one of those where Bruce Lombardo of Dick's Division says Scarred Lands Gelspod was amazing. That's their main continent. There was another one too I have at Termana. The individual books were as evocative as reading them was akin to reading, like, in my opinion, the Planescape stuff was highly evocative. And Deadlands as a separate setting, not with D&D. That was a Savage Worlds Weird West game. Had some of the most evocative reading.
I think what makes a lot of these things stand out is they're not just standard fantasy fare.
Mm-hmm.
So they step away a little bit from. That's what we're talking about, pushing boundaries. Yes. So why Greyhawk, Forgotten Realms, and Mystara don't really push many boundaries is because they're standard fantasy fare. That doesn't mean they're bad.
No.
It just no. It just means they're standard.
Okay. What about modules? I mean, unless you got more to talk about, Joe will. Why don't you post that link? There's a complete list of D&D settings that I have have in our notes. Maybe you can post that in the show notes. It's right after the.
It's going to be in the show notes.
Okay, cool. So that's a pretty cool place to just run around and see different settings. People are they're throwing a lot of stuff out here. Termana, what's that? What is Ryan?
Ryan says, I really like Pete Spawn's Amherst setting. Quite underrated. I don't even know who Pete Spawn is. The name seems a little familiar.
Was that done for 4th edition and 5th edition, or 4th edition and 3rd edition? That sounds kind of the first book was a purplish book, I think. Yeah. I can't remember. That sounds vaguely familiar. The Amherst.
Amherst. Herth. SPA.
I've seen it before.
Chronicles of Amherst RPG site. RPG Pundit reviewed it. Okay. It's Chronicles of Amherst. It's for Labyrinth Lord.
Okay, then I didn't know it. Sorry. There was a fourth.
I don't know if it's specifically just for Labyrinth Lord or if it's more, that's just one version of it.
Okay, cool. All right. So let's say we move out of the settings, unless you got more you want to say.
No.
And let's talk about modules, and we'll wrap it up tonight. So I think as far as modules that really pushed boundaries. So we're not going to start with like Keep on the Borderlands and stuff like that. But I think Expedition to the Barrier Peaks has to come pretty early.
Yeah.
It's one of the first ones. I think, was it Temple of the Frog by Arneson? Early on, they had some sci-fi elements, but Expedition to the Barrier Peaks, S3, really brought the sci-fi. And when I was young, I did not like it. I probably would not use that adventure in my setting, probably, unless I really was shooting for a science fantasy feel. I would put it in a Hyperborea setting.
Sure. Well, the more sci-fi elements you have, well, if you have a smattering of sci-fi elements, it's great for a sword and sorcery game because that's always up for that. Little bit of sci-fi flavor.
Roleplay the Right Way says B10. Elaborate, please, sir. I don't know that by the number. I don't know B10.
Vitamin B10. He's trying to make you healthy.
Oh, okay. Bruce is calling out for Rapanathok and Slumbering Tsar. I can't say that Rapanathok, in my opinion, pushed the envelope, but it was a good one. I would say,
unless you say pushing boundaries is like is in the realm of being a mega dungeon.
I think you got to give that to Undermountain. I think Undermountain gets that first.
Well, sure, but yeah.
Oh, Randy Nichols Malika says Knight's Dark Terror. That was B10. Okay. The Blackmore Adventures did have hard sci-fi, had sci-fi in it. Yeah. But to me, the first I experienced was Expedition. I6 Ravenloft. You got to give it for horror. That was the one.
Yeah, because horror is not really part of the normal D&D experience because your job is to go out and fight monsters. What do you mean? It's just vampires and other monster. What's the deal here?
I think Castle Amber too, because it basically took the Averronia series by Clark Ashton Smith and put it into a module form. So it took a module, but also Dungeon Land and The Land Beyond the Magic Mirror with not C.S. Lewis Carroll. That's
right.
Those were definitely. I remember seeing a lot of these. I didn't really like them. I mean, to be fair, Bruce is making an argument. Undermountain has no plot. Rapanathok has a great plot and has been expanded. As long as you never run it in 5e, you have a 0.8% chance of survival. Okay, I'll give you that. Undermountain did not have a great plot, but it was it the first mega dungeon? I feel like yes.
Yeah, but it's like a lot of stuff for Forgotten Realms.
Mm-hmm.
It's generic.
Would you count Temple of Elemental Evil as a mega dungeon? I think Tinkar does over at Tinkar's Tavern.
It's pretty big.
It's pretty big. I don't know where mega starts and where it ends.
David, welcome.
Hey, Mr. Guy, what's up, dude? I got lots of typing I need to do and talk with you, bud. I appreciate your comments. I was bragging on you before you got on here, so much appreciated.
He heard Ravenloft. Need to run that for the kids since it's the season. Yep.
Yeah.
And you can.
Yeah.
You can. There's nothing about that you can't run your kids through.
Yeah, I do think Cal's right, Hill. Cal Vanoni. It was so common to have sci-fi elements in the old days as a part. Yeah, that was part of the deal for sure. What did Roleplay the Right Way said yes, and I forgot what I asked him. Oh, B10. I think he's conferring that B10 was that one. I don't know about everybody talks about Knight's Dark Terror. Is that the one that he's referring to?
I've played through it a long time ago, but I don't remember a whole lot about it.
It must be good because folks just love it. So, but as far as modules go, those are the ones that I thought of. I noted two kind of for their badness. WG7 Castle Greyhawk, that literally pissed me off. when I read that module, they just completely pooped on the Greyhawk. Because I was reading, I was like, this adventure is stupid. They had like a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man or something in it. It was literally just ridiculous. And then I heard somewhere in some documentary that they did that on purpose to poop on Gygax's memory. Can anybody confirm or deny that? That when
did they do this?
I want to say, what's it called?
It's in the wiki. I'll just look at the wiki.
Yeah.
Was it
Castle Greyhawk? I want to say it was during 2nd edition. No, it's 1st edition. In 88, though. I think in 88 is when they were starting to get tired of Gygax. I'm not sure. I had read somewhere that was the case. Gerald, yes, I have read parts of it, and I have heard that Curse of Strahd is pretty good for a 5e adventure. But unfortunately, Curse of Strahd has been done already in the form of Ravenloft, the original Ravenloft. And I do agree that was probably a pretty good adventure. For 5e, it was probably one of the better ones. I think, oh yeah, there you go, Darth. I would like to do that because I've never done any of them. I would love to go back to a lot of the classic modules as a player. There are several I never got to play since my DM used the Forgotten Realm setting most of the time. I didn't get to play none of them. Joe wouldn't let me. He said, get behind that damn screen, dude, and run me some adventures.
Yes, because otherwise, shut your pie hole.
See? Look at how I'm treated, folks. That's what he do. Shut my pie hole and run those games. He's latching me onto the game this Thursday. I got to get back to the tragedy at Tygon's Falls. See if they can ever figure it out and get past that one room after 9 tries.
Well, I mean,
hey, you did it.
That is old school.
That is, baby. You got to feel it.
There's nothing more old school than dying a lot.
You know, I believe Martinson survived last time, so that's the first time in several sessions. In fact,
yes,
number of sessions. Yes, you need to do that, David. Definitely subject your kids to that. Powder Puff Nerds in the house. She says, don't forget to smash that like button. Like it were the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man's head. Yeah, I don't know if anybody ran that Castle Greyhawk module, WG7, but I couldn't. I was just angry. I thought it was the dumbest crap I'd ever seen. Also, they said, I don't know why I put this in here. I've got it. Terrible Trouble at Tragedor. That was I don't know. They said it was not I don't know. I don't know why I put it in there. 89 near the end of 2nd edition. Yeah.
No, it rings a bell, but I don't remember.
Yeah, it was it was a little module that was in the Dungeon Masters. It was beginning of 2nd edition. The yellow DM screen. It was the module that came with it. So, but of all those modules, I mean, to me, Expedition to Barrier Peaks, Ravenloft, and either
Castle Amber,
and Dungeon Land, those all really push the envelope of what an adventure could be. I think whether you can decide whether it's good or not. That's up to you.
Yeah, it's different flavors, and that's a good thing. This, I think, one of the things that TSR and a lot of other people do, or did, TSR isn't around anymore, not really. Sometimes they try different things, like with Castle Amber, or with Ravenloft, or with Expedition to Barrier Peaks. It wasn't standard fantasy fare. A lot of people like to just stick to the standard fantasy fare, and while it's fine, most of us want to do something different now and again.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what these are for. And the settings too. They stretch, they sometimes change play too. Especially something like where is it at? Dark Sun.
Yeah.
That wasn't just a different setting with a slightly different feel. That was a significant departure from what D&D was. But we rolled with it, and I thought we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, Dark Sun we kind of dug that one. Cal says he played in Tomb of Horrors and it sucked. Well, from my perspective, Tomb of Horrors was awesome. I don't know what players complained about.
Well, if the idea is you can go in there and be successful, sure.
Whoever wrote Adventures with that in mind? I never planned for them to be successful. Yeah, David Gile says, Cal, I only got to play in third editionized Tomb of Horrors, didn't make it past the first room. Yeah, it's not any better.
Most people die in the first room.
Yeah, I mean
the green head, the green open mouth.
Green Devil's mouth.
Green Devil's mouth.
People.
You know, it wasn't enough of a warning that it was green and an open mouth. Probably shouldn't go in there, but it's also dark and impenetrable darkness. Let's try it anyway.
Yeah,
you're dead.
You disappear. I step in. You disappear. I step in. You disappear.
I think he even said there's a pop. There's a pop. And there's a pop.
Yeah.
They disappear. There's a pop. They disappear. There's a pop.
Zip.
Pop.
Oh. But yeah, I think Dark Sun was one we had fun with. I think the modules were cool. I really had a good time with Planescape, but I'm not sure. You weren't around much during the Planescape era. You were in the military.
Not much. But I did play a bit of Planescape in my travels. And like I said, Planescape overall is okay. I just don't like Sigil. And the book, the novels for that were awful. Oh.
They really weren't good.
The worst, I can't say the worst because I haven't read them all. But what I've read, the worst.
Pages of
TSR's
Pages
novels.
of Pain. I liked their explanation of who the Lady of Pain was. I kind of liked it without giving her stats, but I don't know. Yeah, I guess I just don't. Again, for right now, I'm not a fan of the moral relativism. That's a hard one for me to do now.
Yeah.
Yeah, David.
I didn't read. Yeah. David Goss says, used to run Planescape a lot, tried reading Planescape Torment novel. Game is way better. The game is highly rated.
Yeah, it is.
The Planescape Torment game is highly rated. Was it called Pages of Pain, the novel, the first novel that they wrote?
Troy Denning, yeah.
Yeah. And so I didn't bother with any of those because it was trash.
Yeah. I don't know. So anyway, but I think those were some of the more boundary pushing modules and settings.
So yeah, because they didn't just give you somewhere else to kill monsters.
No,
you had to think differently a little bit. Planescape, you had to be more diplomatic and be careful.
Yeah.
Just from the point of view of your quest givers.
Yeah.
And
in Castle Amber, you run into such a crazy family. Some are willing to help you, some don't want to, and then you have these just weird. It's such a magical castle that you're like, oh my god, there's a jungle inside this castle. Holy crap!
Yeah.
And you actually go to another plane at one point.
And the good thing about those modules is they show you that thinking is a good idea, because you can't just run around in Planescape and put your head down and chop everything down, because you won't last long. A lot of your standard modules you will. So a lot of these other things, they teach you to think, and when you come back to your normal standard fantasy fare, you will fare much better.
Yeah. I think it's a good change in pace. I'll tell you something that I think probably didn't. I don't know if we got much discussion, but we've talked about it before. There was a part during Dragon, I don't think Dungeon, but Dragon had one or two articles on the Sheen idea of the Sheen campaign, where there's actually an alien invasion of creatures that are kind of like, not quite predators, but they're more like these steel creatures. And I thought it was interesting, and they describe it as, if you really want to twist your campaign world and realize they could end up taking over and your campaign world could become apocalyptic sci-fi, it was kind of neat. It was kind of a neat idea. I thought that was a cool idea for a campaign. Elle was asking about a series. Yes, I know some of them. The Gauntlet, is that the one you're talking about? There's one called The Gauntlet, and there was a couple of others. I've seen some. I used to own a couple of the UK modules. He's talking about the series made in the UK. There were a few. I can't remember the name of them.
Well, the Castle Amber was a UK module.
Was it? Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, I don't.
At least they had a version that was.
They had a version in French because, well,
yeah,
the Chateau.
Castle, yeah. D'Amberville.
Yeah.
D'Amberville.
D'Amberville. Yeah. Saltmarsh modules are good. I don't know if they pushed the envelope. Not going to say that they didn't. Oh,
I heard of them, but that's it.
This is not a module, but it's monster. There's a monster book that pushed the envelope. Powder Puff Nerd says, I like the original Fiend Folio, had some of the coolest, weirdest monsters you could ever imagine. I mean, it had the Gith Yankee, of course, and Loth was outlined in that, but it also had the wolf in sheep's clothing. That was really weird.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like Amber was the same thing. Yeah. All right, man.
Well, so, Bruce is telling me he posted a photo in my Discord. I'm not sure if I want to find. I want to look.
Okay, Bruce.
Sounds scary.
It does.
I'm scared.
Well, man,
let's see here. Before we sign off.
Oh, okay.
Before we sign off.
Saltmarsh was TSR UK. Fair enough. And Night's Dark Terror. Okie dokie.
Okay. A new adventure pack for Dungeons and Dragons game, The Haunted Tower. This is a TSR thing, The Haunted Tower.
Okay.
Zombies, ghosts, and vampires survive a night of fright.
Huh.
Let's see. Let me do this. And let me do...
So it's doing stuff.
Yes, they did. They did change share to present because they're dumb.
All right.
Present screen.
Present arms. Oh, yeah. I forgot that one.
Let's see if I can make it bigger. Whoops.
Oh. SpongeBob. Let's see. If you had a
get over here.
If you had an Apple product, you could just expand it like that nobody can see.
There, that's expanded. Yeah, I don't remember this. But this is older.
Yeah.
You can tell because it's all crushed in a little bit.
Oh, yeah. L's got a good one here, too. And yeah, that's pretty. I remember seeing that. I never owned it, though. Was that one of the box sets, Bruce, and the ones you're talking about? L says, what about the module the players played the monsters and the GM played the party? Reverse Dungeon. I think it was one of the last second edition modules. It was called Reverse Dungeon. Yep. I owned that one and played it. And it was kind of fun.
There's also something like that Paizo put out where we be goblins.
Yeah. Those were actually pretty good. Those were probably better. We be goblins were probably better adventures. Let me see here. I'm going to share this one. So you guys can you see that? It's off to the right. Yeah, there it is. Let me make it a little bigger. Reverse Dungeon.
They have the R backwards.
Yeah. Yeah, it was actually fun. You played the poor little goblins in the cave, and the adventurers come through, and the DM. You basically let the players set up their defenses, and then you bring a party in and start kicking their teeth in. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
It's a nice little adventure. That was a good catch there, L. Yeah, you too, Bruce. Those are neat. Yeah, the UK did do some good modules. I just can't remember their names. I know I had some, so yeah. All right. We about ready to call it a night, dude. I'm feeling like we're near the end. It's up to you, though.
We are near, but I wanted to do a couple things.
Oh, Joe's got
we have some emails that I have been remiss at dealing with here.
Oh, we should email it up then. I love emails.
So we have one from Timothy Stone.
Okay.
I believe he stopped in.
Oh, okay.
He says, geeks. That's us.
Yes.
Good show, guys, on D&D Pushing the Boundaries, episode 106. If you're looking for a guest to chat about White Plume Mountain, regale you by tales of 5e campaigns and a decade of blogging about Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, ping me.
Oh, okay.
See my blog, Another Caffeinated Day.
Oh, is that
Another
Tim?
caffeinatedday.com.
Grognard?
Yeah.
Oh, we should have Tim on. We also need to have our boy on from across the pond, Big John Allen.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we do. We got to get that done. That's got to happen.
Yeah. There's another one here from Anthony Rose. Hello, Joe and Randy. I'm interested in getting into RPGs. I watch you as well as others and feel as though I'm getting a lot of different ideas as to what is expected of me as a player. So I was hoping you could give me a clear idea of what you just DMs in general would expect from me. Thanks. Thank you for reading.
Well, I can tell you what I would expect. What was his first name? I missed that again.
Anthony.
So I expect good imagination. I want the players to care about fantasy genre. You like dragons, you like dungeons, you like wizards, you like warriors, you like blood, you like fighting monsters. I would expect you to be someone that's, really wanting to be excited about learning the game. You don't have to be super skilled. In fact, if you know nothing about it, I'm completely fine and almost prefer it. There's an advantage to having new players. You'll bring a newness and a charm to the table that most players that have played before cannot bring anymore. I really enjoy, I would say your DM would expect you to be, I'd like you to be on time. I'd like you to eventually, not at the beginning, I'd like you to have your own core book. I know Elle disagrees with that. But if you become a long-time player at my table and we're playing the same game over and over, I would hope that would happen. And I would hope you'd fit in with my friend group because we play with friends. I would imagine other DMs would hope similar things. You don't have to be an expert. You don't have to have played 47 times. Just have a willingness to learn and an excitement about the genre, right? The fantasy genre and magic. That's really, if you've heard of Lord of the Rings and you like it, that's usually what I tell people. Sit down and give it a shot. You might enjoy it.
That's all good stuff. I don't think I would add anything except from a player's perspective. The only thing I really, I don't try to have any real expectations,
right?
Except for people being, respectful and pleasant to the other folks at the table.
Yeah.
That's about it. Get into the game. If you're new, I don't expect you to dive in with both feet, but sometimes people do.
But considering he's sending an email asking about this, I think he's already going to be conscientious. So he's concerned about, fitting in and, enjoy yourself and try to find your place in the quote unquote party and have a good time and play characters and do crazy stuff, eat Cheetos, have some snacks, have fun, roll dice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I guess one expectation I have, well, it's not an expectation, it's more of a desire for the other players to engage in what's going on.
Yes.
And not doing too much of the wallflower thing where the DM has presented the room or the door or the situation, and it's like the old Abbott and Costello or the Three Stooges is great for this. Three Stooges, if they're in a big crowd and someone standing in front of the big crowd is saying, "We need someone to volunteer to do this dangerous thing," everybody but the Three Stooges takes one step backward,
right,
and leaves them in the front. And there's then the guy in the front says, "Thank you for volunteering."
Right.
So no, we don't want. I would rather people step up. So if you're a fighter, you step boldly into the danger, whatever that is.
Yeah.
There's a door. Oh, I'll try to open it, especially if you're the thief. If you're the thief in the party and someone says, "Hey, there's a door," and you're just sitting there twiddling your thumbs, and kind of not looking around or kind of looking at everywhere but at everybody else's face in the party, that's a problem.
Or we kill the lich, and there's the chest with the glimmering gold straps around it and sparkling jewels on the chest. It looks really magical. The thief needs to step up and go, "Hey, there's probably traps on this thing."
Yeah.
But
What do you expect me to do?
yeah, but I think also there is and not to, we're maybe giving him two sides of this coin. There are some players that enjoy being a wallflower from the perspective of they don't get into the RP, they don't like the play act. They just, they roll their dice when it's their turn. They do the actions their characters would do, and yeah.
Okay, and let's see. Oh, that's the wrong one. There we go. All right. So we got one from Web Warrior.
Okay, Web Warrior.
What do you think about the differences between various early editions of Dungeons and Dragons? Do you have much experience with playing the different versions? I've heard a lot of chatter about BECMI versus BX, Moldvay versus Menser, OD&D versus Holmes, etc. Do you care? How have these editions informed your current games and play style, if at all? That's a big question.
Big question.
We have an episode or two about this. I tried to dig it up and reply to him directly here, but I think we have some experience with D&D.
Yeah.
Not old D&D very much.
BECMI, rules like the first two books.
Yeah, and we jumped into AD&D fairly quickly after.
Yeah, we did
having those.
So anything pre-basic expert, like we never played the white box, the original. We are now playing Old School Essentials, which I believe is the original basic expert before Menser's basic expert companion. We were waiting on companion when we found AD&D. We played the living snot out of AD&D until second edition came on. I played through the whole run of second, the whole run of third, Pathfinder, skipped fourth, and have dabbled in fifth edition. I think how has it informed our play today? I think we've mentioned this a lot, but I think to say this will be fair, Joe, you can correct me. We have a longing for a dangerous game, for an old school feel, but some of the old school rules don't always float our boat.
Right.
So we're probably, I have a pie in the sky idea of playing through AD&D in second edition again, at least a little bit. But at some point, we're going to have our own version of D&D. And it probably will not resemble, other than the danger level, resemble old school D&D more.
It will be informed by, but not be D&D in an old school fashion.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will try to dig up whatever episode it is that we go through these. And
I don't know if we did as good a job as he wanted, but we've definitely talked about this.
We've talked about it.
Web Warrior, that's cool. Yeah.
We have one more from Scott Rue.
Okay.
And there is a conservative version of Yelp called Public Square. And I'm glad, I think I saw this before, perhaps, and that's why or he posted about it either on the in a video in the live stream, or perhaps in some other social media venue. But Public Squares is like Yelp, where businesses are talked about, and Public Square is a conservative version where it differs and they provide users links and info to online companies that support American core values and anti-wokeness. It's called Public Square, www.publicsq.com. Thought you might like to check them out, and good luck. Thanks for taking a stand. Well, you are welcome. I've already hooked us up there.
All right. Excellent. I'll have to get that link again. I missed a little bit of it. I'll check that out. So it's just a forum of some sort. Did I hear that right?
Yelp. Yelp is a
recommendations.
Recommendation thing. So that's what this is. Same deal. And I put Big Geek Emporium up there.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, we need to be a part of that. I want to make that happen. Yeah. Oh, Blady asked a question. Joe's mentioned this, I think, before. Joe and Randy at us. When you get your new version completed, that's Mudsword, you should do a playing podcast. Oh, well, we've talked about possibly doing a live play. I don't know what it would be like. I can't imagine us doing anything elaborate.
We're not going to do the scripty thing or the.
No.
We're just going to do the boring. This is how we play, because a lot of actual plays are about performances, and they know they have an audience, so they want to entertain. And we're going to have, me and Randy, we're going to have the same kind of banter. So if you like that, you'll like that there too. But there'll be other people, and there's going to be, roll the dice.
You might even hit some of the streamers that are on here on that thing too. A couple of our buddies come on, and you may see them, and we may do that for kind of do a short little adventure. I don't know. We'd have to have a better setup and have a good room and voices. We'd have you'd still have watchers. What does that mean?
You do realize you'd still have watchers, right? People will still want to watch it. This is what he said.
Really? Okay.
Just because I think it's a boring idea to watch a bunch of guys play D&D at a table doesn't mean other people. I mean, other people aren't doing that.
Granted, if I'm game mastering, people should bring their notebooks. That would be the wisest thing to do. Just take proper notes. So
I got a sock over here for that pie hole of yours.
No, I tell you what, we'd have fun. Whether folks would have fun watching this or not, I can't say. But yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Thank you, guys. That was cool. But anyway, I think that's about it. Is that it, Joe, or you got more?
I do not have more. That's it.
I've
been remiss. That goes all the way back to like the 10th of last month.
Oh, that's not bad, because before you were like, one of them was like 2 months back. So thanks, Malachi. He said he'd watch. But listening, yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be great. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to scoot out of here, guys. If you like to support our show, hit like, subscribe, share us where you're listening or viewing. We're on all the socials. You can hit us up with a donation at paypal.me/biggestgeekus. We do the tips at Streamlabs still, Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah. And how about Anchor? Where's that looking at?
I'm not sure how long that's going to last.
Okay.
Because I heard I know that through
Iron Man had an issue last week or week before.
Yeah. It's not precisely, from what I remember, Streamlabs. It was a subscription through one of the podcast apps that's hooked up to Anchor. That kind of subscription, right. I think. But he said he got the message from Anchor, so they're ending that at some point. So, and
of course, yeah, we got our website at www.biggestgeekuspodcast.com. Email us like those fantastic 4 folks that did tonight. The geeks at biggestgeekuspodcast.com.
And pick up something over at Big Geek Emporium, even if it's a free thing. Head over there.
Get that every time, Joe.
Yes, you do.
Big Geek
Which is
Emporium.
fine. There's 2 of us here.
That's good. You save my bacon.
Big Geek Emporium. Go pick something up or just take a look.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is Randy.
And hold on.
He's not ready.
I gotta put my mouse hovering over the correct thing. So, and this is Joe.
And remember, you can't be big like us and be geeks like us.